Race 2 at Misano, in the sunshine, in high temperatures, is go. Green light goes on, and a great start by Vanthor. Martin switches side to go to the outside of Niederhauser. Vanthor weaves around to try and defend on the run to turn 1. Niederhauser back up the inside of Martin, retakes second place then. And Lapalainen in the Ferrari tries to squeeze up to 4th, but Christopher Hauser says, no, you don't. There are others that skip the entry to turn 2 by running wide at turn 1. But it's BMW in the lead, and Vanthor has done exactly what he needed to do. He's converting pole into the lead.
Yes, he was on it really before one of the lights went out, but he got the advantage of that pole position. The rest of the field is streaming through turns 4 and 5, then cutting back to the left through 6. Pretty much everybody in the field has managed to get through. Okay, some have been a bit wider. You can see just coming through turn 6. Mad Panda, Mercedes way wide, but all the cars appear to be running, and we're halfway around the opening lap.
All eyes for the moment further back, also on Tibor Boguslavski. Here he is to see what progress can be made. Now ahead, you've got the Lamborghini there, the VSR car, so I rather fear that Boguslavski has dropped rather than gained over the opening few corners. But let's count him across the line at the end of the lap and see. There's an Audi in the background getting crowded up towards the grass there. For second place, look, Niederhauser and Martin go absolutely toe-to-toe out of turn 12. BMW on the outside line, Audi on the in. Niederhauser goes through, Martin will look for the switch back. There's no gap going up to the hairpin though, because exactly where Maxime Martin needs to be, there is an Audi parked on his line. An effort being made in the background, look, by the McLaren of Benjamin Goethe up on the inside of Gachet, and he's gone through. We've also got a yellow flag in the last sector.
So McLaren gets through cleanly. The loser of that, you said, you pointed out Boguslavski, but give him a little bit of time to settle in. It was always going to be a tough starting position in that sort of middle part of the grid. But look, everybody's side by side. And there is the 81 Mercedes that got turned around. Gap now 2.1 seconds, first to second place. And the top 4 more or less settled into a pace. The only car that may be looking to make a bit of progress would be the 5th place, because Lapalainen and Ferrari, who's only 9/10 of a second behind. Something's happened to Alex Arca. He's lost 2 positions in the last lap and a bit. Oh, bodywork, and
Kropinski had a dive up the inside of Alessio De Leda. Contact is the result. They both spin, and Kropinski tries to get the McLaren back in the right direction. De Leda likewise.
Goodness me.
Wow. But the McLaren's got damage, look.
It's certainly got damage, suspension damage. The car is crabbing, and there's the Ferrari.
That's for Silva, 4 wide, and into the lead of the class suddenly goes Frank Bird. The Audis get together, and off goes one of the Gold Cup Audis at high speed into the barriers and into the gravel. So that all kicked off coming out of turn 6, and through it all into the lead of the class has come Frank Bird. Nicola Marinangeli was forced out wide, and he lost time. But there, look, back at the races is Alex Arca, second in class. But I rather fear we might have an interruption here with a car in the wall and another one parked by the side of the circuit. That's Kropinski, he's out. So let's try and piece various incidents together. So the first one that we looked at was this dive by Patrick Kropinski up on the inside of Alessio De Leda. Contact made between the two. Bits of bodywork dislodged, and they both spin. Then up into position goes Alberto Di Folco. He gets hip and shouldered out by Nicola Marinangeli. That's what triggered it all. Di Folco on the inside, Cesar Gazzo on the outside. Di Folco didn't like that. He squeezes Marinangeli, who goes way wide. Look at the blue Mercedes from the back of the queue. All 4 wheels off the road. Track limits, and 4 abreast, but then something gives, and the Audis tangle. In fact, it was the 2 teammates touching, and Di Folco was the one that came off.
I mean, just as very, the car literally went from being on the racetrack, spat off the racetrack, off to the right, and nothing that Alberto Di Folco could do about that. Just carrying too much speed, probably doing well in excess of 200 kilometers an hour when that contact took place.
So this is Di Folco's view. Wait for the nudge. Gets pincered.
Yeah, he was simply the meat in that Audi sandwich.
Now the field's starting to bunch up because Dries Van Thor has slowed the pace, ready to accelerate away on the restart. The pace car, the safety car, heads for the pit lane. It's up to Van Thor now to control the pace. Niederhauser has one last chance, if you like, before he dives for the pit lane, and it's helped by the safety car. This has also helped Boguslavski and Maciello because it brings them a little bit closer to the pack ahead. Now their car running wide and almost a bit of overlapping. You can't overtake it until you get to the line, but with one car running rather wide, that almost tripped up the pack behind. Look back from Boguslavski's car. He has got Callum Williams behind him. Boguslavski needs to be on the attack, but it's Williams attacking him.
Yeah, Boguslavski was trying to find a way past the Lamborghini, and now he's got Callum Williams all over the back. So Boguslavski probably lost fractionally going into turn 16, and that's, I think, the reason why we've got Callum Williams right on the tail of the 88 Mercedes.
Drivers ready, teams ready, and Vanthor comes into the pit lane then. So with 33 minutes to go, in he comes, and that's going to give Niederhauser the lead. Interesting, though, that Vanthor comes in early.
I'm surprised. I would have thought that they would have kept Vanthor out to the last minute, but maybe they see on timing and scoring, they know where that car will rejoin, and what they don't want to do is have it rejoin in the middle of the race of cars that are maybe in the 20s or 30s in overall position.
Also in Maxime Martin to give way to Valentino Rossi. So 2 of the 3 leading cars in. That gives Valentino quite a long stint, as it does Charles Weerts.
Well, they got 2 cars in the pits, and the 32 was in first, followed by the 46, so which of the 2 is going to come out ahead? We wait to see. Oh, in fact, what's wrong with the 32? It's lost a lot of time in that pit stop.
It has. A big chunk of time. Well, having suggested earlier that WRT might stretch the margin on pit stops, it might have unravelled here. So let's see what that stop time is, but it's not looking great because Ferrari, Lamborghini are ahead. So Valentino Rossi, the best of the stoppers, and there he is, hard at work. Tries to get the sweat out of his eyes. He's on lap number 21, and Valentino Rossi carrying on the good work in that first stint by Maxime Martin, and he's getting away because in the first sector he's pulled another half a second over Leggero. So here is Maciello. Now we saw him in the background being off the racetrack, and the onboard illustrates it thus, John.
Yes. So waiting off the exit of turn, just round wide. That's just down to, I have to say, Raffaele Maciello let the car drift too far wide on the exit of turn 10, and the penalty is he went off track. He's up to 8th position. He's got ahead of Charles Weerts, which is actually something I wouldn't have anticipated.
So Valentino Rossi building the lead. It was 4 seconds change at the start of the stint. It was 5 seconds last time. Goes across the line. That pleases the faithful. And Maxime Martin, the last man to win a sprint round in a BMW, smiles no doubt because he might be on for another. 2015 was the last time a BMW, the Z4, won a sprint cup race. Yves Weerts looks on, not delighted about the progress of his son's car, down the order now, but pleased that he might be celebrating a win for number 46.
So let's look and see what can Maciello get through. Well, he's on the right part of the racetrack, but he's getting pinched coming into turn 13, but makes it stick. Goes
ahead of Franck Pereira, up into 7th place. Well, there is the 4th place Ferrari of Albert Costa, ahead of Giacomo Altway. Maciello is through, he's done it, he's got by Bastard, and now he might get Altway before the end. This is another of those typical Maciello stints, isn't it? Foot nailed to the boards.
A Maciello charge. Let's have a look and see, coming out of turn. This is on to back straight again. This is the place where he lined up 1 lap ago, gets himself slightly better position this time, just has got a little bit more straight line performance, and gets alongside before the kink, and that's the deal done and dusted, and an easy, straightforward pass. There is the gap closing between 88, closed down pretty quickly, in fact.
Yeah, Maciello then has got time left to have a go here at Giacomo Altway, former International GT Open champion. Lamborghini Super Trofeo runner-up, world final winner. Maciello goes wide into turn 9. He wants to get the cut back out of 10, and this is where he lines up as he's done in the past.
Yes, he's using the same trick he used to get past a little bit earlier. So Ferrari has got good straight line performance. He's blocking off, if you wish, the inside line through the dog leg, just to go round the outside. Very brave then, the cut back. Can he slide up the inside? Wow, well, that's a good bit of not gamesmanship of nothing else, but good race thinking, racing brain. If you want a racing brain, Maciello's showing you what it's all about.
And the Valentino Rossi fan club are starting to celebrate. We've got just under 2 minutes of the race to go. There he is. The lead gap is still around the 5-second mark. He has stretched it since the beginning of the stint. It is hard not to get excited about this. However, cynical one might be a hardened motor racing fan, because here you're watching somebody who has changed disciplines, who has come into a very bright spotlight, into a really tough GT championship, learnt a lot, and here at his home circuit where he had 3 MotoGP successes, he's about to start the last lap, and so Valentino Rossi accelerates then now out to turn 16. There's lots of applause for that. He's on his last lap, and a first outright win in a GT car beckons. Valentino Rossi is almost home, comes down the back straight, heads towards Curvoni through the kink, and it's a great sounding car, the BMW, but I fear you won't hear it cross the line for all the cheers. He comes now up towards turn 13, then to the hairpin. The road tightens and tightens and tightens, and then 15 and 16 beckon. 2 corners to go before a first win in Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe, powered by AWS Sprint Cup. Maxime Martin started it. Valentino Rossi brings it home for a first ever win and a great reception. Valentino Rossi, Maxime Martin win at Misano. Fantastic drive by both Lucas Legere and Christopher Haase are second, Jean-Baptiste Simonard, Thomas Neubauer are third, and you can see how much that means to Valentino. Right, so Valentino Rossi and Maxime Martin win at Misano from Lucas Legere and Christopher Haase, and then Jean-Baptiste Simonard and Thomas Neubauer come home in third. Raffaele Maciello and Timur Boguslavski finishing in 4th place, with Albert Costa and Thierry Vermeulen given a penalty. They dropped to 5th ahead of Altway and Lapalainen. In 6th spot then is the second of the Emil Frey Ferraris, 7th to Owen Bastard and Patrick Niederhauser, ahead of Franck Pereira and Jordan Pepper. Only 9th after that slow pit stop, Charles Wirtz and Dries Van Thol. They never really recovered from that, suggesting there was more to it. And then in 10th, Nikolai Kiergaard and Benjamin Goethe, retiring yesterday with damage, but a top 10 finish today, a good result. The champagne is ready, and Valentino is the first with the fizz as he sprays anybody and everybody.